All right, everyone. Music, it's definitely been keeping us hyped throughout this time with the pandemic. And now the tours are coming out. The concerts are happening. We're all excited about that. And then the music that we're getting is just exciting. And Buckcherry, we all heard of Buckcherry. They're releasing a new album, Hellbound, on June 25th. And they're also going to be on the road as well. And on the line right now, we have Josh. Thanks so much for taking your time and speaking to us. Josh, I'm a big fan of the new hit, So Hot, very catchy. Makes you want to dance. And I remember seeing you guys, I want to say about maybe 3-4 years ago in Miramar, Florida. And I think it was raining. And it was a heck of a time. You guys always put on a good performance. And first and foremost, Josh, I know when you hit that stage, man, it's always a freaking party. How did you handle the whole pandemic? Because I'm sure you guys are love to travel. So how did you guys do it during this pandemic? How did you guys keep busy?
Yeah, we really had to focus on something, creative to get our minds off of it. Because as you know, living in the United States, there was a lot more than just the pandemic going on. It was chaos. It was, the election, COVID, racism, riots, the list goes on, it was, the gun violence, all that kind of stuff. So, whenever there's a lot of adversity, this band, really writes its best records, I have to say. Hellbound, our new record that's going to drop June 25th, it's got to be the best VC record. And I'm not saying that just because we're about to drop it, but it's really amazing. We worked really hard on it. We just channeled all that energy into writing songs. And we wrote a lot of songs. We wrote about almost 30 songs for a 10-song record. So it just goes to show you how thorough we were. It really paid off.
And I was reading about that. Yeah, you're about 30 songs. So what happens to those other 20 songs? Are we going to get to hear them someday? Or maybe perhaps for another record?
I think some of them are good enough to make a record, maybe 2 or 3, but sometimes songs aren't they never get to that point where they're good enough to be on a record. That's why you got to write a lot of them. We don't want to put out just filler, so that's really important to us. So that's why we write a lot of songs.
How do you determine, if you write 30 songs, how do you pick and choose? You guys come together, maybe your producer, how do you determine which of these are the ones that should be on there for XYZ reason?
Yeah, you kind of know, the cream rises to the top, right? I mean, we create like a little playlist, right? We'll have a password protected playlist while we're writing demos, and it only goes out to the band and our manager and our producer, and then we just continue to write and add songs and write and add songs, and before you know it, when it comes time to when it gets closer and we feel like we've exhausted the songwriting process, there's usually always 8 songs that are undeniable, or 7, and then you kind of gotta start really fine-tuning the last 3 or 4, so that's kind of how we do it. We just we know when we got it, and it's on Buckcherry Records, you want to have a lot of dynamics. You don't want to have just all rock songs. You don't want to have all just super fast tempo songs. You don't want to have all ballads. You don't want to have all mid-tempo songs. So when you're writing songs, sometimes you'll have 5 mid-tempo songs, but you only want 1 or 2 for the record, and then you'll have a few slow songs, and you only want 1 for the record, and then you'll have a bunch of rockers, and some of them will just, like I said, they'll be good ones, and then there'll be just mediocre songs. Maybe it's a good chorus, but the rest of the song isn't good, and stuff like that. Sometimes I go back and rewrite stuff, but we just were in the zone on this record, and we co-wrote a lot of songs with Marty Fredrickson as well, the guy who produced the record, and we've written songs with him in the past. He's a really talented guy, and 5 of those songs made the record. So it just goes to show you how good that was. We wrote with him for a week. We wrote 6 songs in 5 days, and 5 of them made the record. And then we took 5 of the the other remaining 22 that Stevie and I had written prior to getting in a room with Marty, and there you have Hellbound, the record, and it's amazing.
Now, I understand that last year you guys were scheduled to do about 100 shows, and now that got thrown away because of that pandemic. That's a lot of freaking shows. So to go out now, I understand that the tour you guys have planned starting in June is going to carry on into 2022. Is that right?
Oh yeah, now we're gearing up for 100 shows is not that much for a whole year of touring. I mean, we're used to doing close to 200 actually in a year, but we got 105 booked from June 1st to early November in the United States, and then we're going to go to the UK after that, and so on and so forth. Because the vaccine is now starting to get distributed worldwide. We have a really good vaccination program in the States, but it's not as good in other territories. So, we'll stay in the territories that we can work, and then we'll go to, other territories once they open up.
Were there certain cities or locations that you were going to travel to last year that you had not performed in yet and were looking forward to?
There was talk of us going to Russia, and we haven't been there yet. And we've known a few other bands that have gone there that we're friendly with, and say it's just a really cool experience. So we've been looking forward to doing that, and that's probably gonna manifest, in 2022 and stuff like that. I mean, there's always little nooks and crannies of places you get to, that aren't major markets, and I'd have to sit here and rack my brain to figure out all that stuff. But basically, if it makes sense, we play all kinds of places. We don't just play major markets.
So you have So Hot, the first single out right now, available, and the video is hilarious with the whole girl trying to take pictures of herself in IG and all that stuff. So, and you definitely got a hit here, very catchy, and it makes you want to definitely dance and groove. But what other music are we expecting from Hellbound, and which one are you looking forward to performing live on stage?
So Hot is so fun on stage. We've already performed a few of these. We did a handful of shows earlier on in this year, and So Hot, and then the title track Hellbound, which is a video that we're dropping next week. It's so good. It's one of my favorite rock songs on the record. So that's going to be dropping, and then we're going to be dropping a song called Wasting No More Time, which is kind of a Tom Petty-ish feel on the record, and really came out well, and that'll be coming out later on in the year too. So those are some good songs live.
As far as the lyrics for most of these songs, is there a little pandemic-ish or what we lived through last year in there reference to, or maybe perhaps?
Sure. Yeah, there's some little sprinkles of pandemic type songs. There's a song called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the opening track on the record, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It came out really well. And then there's another song called Here I Come, and they're both really aggressive songs, kind of about the turmoil and chaos that we were living in at that time.
Now, you guys have definitely been in the game for some time and have put out some good stuff. How would you say that the whole industry has changed now? And, one thing that I've noticed is do you think we're going out that route that some bands are going to be doing kind of like a hybrid where the virtual aspect, where if you can't make it, you can see it online. And then, of course, for the people there in person, you think that's going to be something that's going to just carry on from here on out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think people tried to do the live show streaming thing, and some people, I think the people that got in right at the front of that, had a little bit of success with that. But then once everybody started going to the internet performing live, it just kind of got diluted, and people want to see live performances. We are social animals. We want to go out and socialize. It's always going to be something that we're going to need to do. So. That's always going to be a constant, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure that once we get way more advanced technologically, that there will be stuff like that. But I don't know. I'll probably be dead and gone at that point.
Don't say that. We need your music. So many records, so many music. How different would you say that Hellbound is compared to all you guys' work in the past? And were there any challenges? Was it smooth? Was it? You said you were in the zone. Did you guys really just, for whatever reason, were really into this album? You put your, not that you don't want your other stuff, but how different this one came out compared to the ones in the past?
I mean, first and foremost, it's passion. We're very passionate about what we do, and we're always getting better as songwriters. So, the records are always going to progress in that way. But, it does, every now and again you put out a record where everything is just aligned. Like, it has this synergy. You have to have synergy with your audience, and you can write what you think is a great record, and then when you put it out, sometimes it doesn't connect with the audience as much as you thought it was going to. But this one is really connecting right out of the gate, and we know that by the feedback we're getting from So Hot, and then we also know how deep this record is with songs, so and the pre-orders of vinyl and all the stuff that is happening right now. We just know that you can feel it. So that being said, it comes down to great songs and an album that is cohesive, from the beginning to the end. And this is definitely one of those special BC records for sure.
Well, Josh, I want to thank you so much for your time, man. I think maybe 2018 is when I saw you guys on here. I don't know if you guys been to Florida since. I could be wrong. Maybe you did, but hopefully you guys can. I don't recall seeing Florida there in your list in the tour, but somehow, some way, fit us in there, especially in the winter time, so you can avoid the snow up north.
Yeah, we already did 4 Florida dates this year, and then we'll be getting back there again for sure.
Down south, keep us in mind. We want you down here.
Yes, sir.
All right, Josh. Well, thanks so much, man. We look forward to the new album, Hellbound, dropping June 25th. Look out for the new video dropping as well coming up week. And So Hot, you can listen to it right now. I was jamming into it myself while I was drinking some whiskey. And it's quite fitting, man, quite fitting. Josh, thanks so much, man. Good luck out there on hitting the road. And thanks for putting out some good music for us, man, so we can jam.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Cheers.